Hello, welcome back for more mech nonsense. I am Dread Mechanic, and this is part 10 of my Armored Core Mark III build stream. This thing is a big bipedal monstrosity. It's almost ready to release. Very almost. So far it can walk, it can fly, and the last few days I've not really had much time to do streaming, but I have had time to do little bits of work on it, and it now has a fully fledged skimmer mode as well. So it has 3 different control modes. So you can walk it, you can glide it along the floor, you can fly it up in the sky. The skimmer and flight modes are governed by a hydrogen supply, and when that runs out, those modes automatically deactivate. That's because of the nature of the way thrusters, thrust override and inertial dampeners and all that kind of jazz works. When you're working with vanilla subgrid thruster control, so it's had to be set up that way. Otherwise you get weird reactions from the thrusters. But it's got a decent amount of fuel in it. It can walk, it can shoot. I've been tweaking some of the arm settings to make sure everything triggers when it should do. And it now also has an automatically opening and closing door system. Very simple, but we can jump in, the door closes behind us, so we're sealed in. You can see the cockpit is airtight, and if we hop out, the door will automatically close behind us, so we're not leaving it open or exposed when we get out. But what we can do is we can take that picture down for a start, because we don't need it. So that's walk mode. He's also got a balance assist system built into him to stop him tipping over, or to help him stop him tipping over. It's not perfect, but if you were suddenly to stop or lurch in an awkward direction. Oh yeah, you're going to show me up on that and you're going to walk perfectly without any issues. Well, that's good. But should he randomly lurch backwards, he has a, there we go, a tilter control system that centers him. Well, first of all, it deactivates the walk cycle, then it centers him, and then once both his feet are back on the floor, there you go, he's tipped off balance. He's gone a little bit too far, hasn't he? Yeah. So that was a little bit too far. But you can see the gyros trying to do something. There you go, he's going up a little bit, but flat on his back is just a little bit too far. Ooh, you never know, might me. Well, there you go. He has a self-correcting system, so if he falls over, he can get himself back up, provided you haven't smashed him to pieces. So, yeah, we've got a walk cycle. We can walk. We can do things. Have I got anything running in the background that shouldn't be? GeForce Experience, you can go away. Probably causing issues with my connection. Yeah, my internet connection seems to be all right again now. Yeah, okay, hopefully that's sorted that out. But, yeah, it can walk, it can correct itself, it can get itself back up off the floor again when it needs to. And that's walk mode. Then we can... oh yeah, it's also got signs for everything inside. Those signs are actually the triggers that turn those modes on and off, so we can turn off walk mode. We can turn on skimmer mode, which activates some of the thrusters, and if you look down at the feet, down here, when we turn skimmer mode on and off, it's also set to change the wheel positions and to decrease all of the friction so that we can glide around like so. So we've got thruster control, we've still got most of our balance control on, and we've got a little bit of gyro control with the mouse, but we mostly have the gyro turn system with the keyboard. So if you hold forwards, you go forwards. If you hold left, you go left. If you hold forwards and left together, you spin left. So it's got turn controls for both sides, forward and left, forward and right turn. And if we slow ourselves down, why is that arm pointing out like that? I've changed the wrong rotor somewhere, haven't I? Yeah, I've got something wrong there. But yeah, like I was saying, it's the same for reverse and left and reverse and right. It's also got some gyro control in there too. So you've basically got full two-dimensional movement with the keyboard controls, or your controller input, because that was me playing with my keyboard. It's me pressing W, that's me pressing S, that's me pressing A, that's me pressing D. This is now me controlling it with my control pad. So, console users. As you can see, the HUD on my screen has changed to the Xbox controls. And you can see it's fully usable. Oh, that is something I need to do. I need to set up all the toolbar controls properly, so I can set them up properly for PC and console users. Hopefully the Xbox controls, once they're set up, they copy over to PlayStation. Because I know Space Engineers is kind of new to PlayStation, and I've never played it on that platform, so I don't know whether the console keybinds would copy over properly, or the same. I'm not sure. Oh, that's annoying. That's one downside of the console, the pad controls. Or maybe it's because my pad's broken. It's probably because my pad's a bit old and knackered. But yeah, you can still do the gyro turning with control pad. It just seems to be a bit awkward. It's probably because my control pad's broken and I need to get a new one, but yeah. Then you've got gyro control with the right analog stick that would be the mouse on PC, so you can combine the two, and yeah, so it's basically fully usable on both platforms. I do need to fix that. What have I've screwed up there? Yeah, there you go. that was most of the intention behind this one, is to make something that is useful for everybody. So what have I screwed up? The left elbow rotor. Skim. Reverse. Left elbow rotor. What? Oh, that's probably what's doing it. Yeah, that's what was doing it. I had a dud control in there. Alright. Is my internet connection not behaving properly today? I'm going to turn the Wi-Fi off my phone. Hopefully that will help. But anyway. Right, so that's skimmer mode. You can see that's controlled by this little array of hydrogen thrusters. Skimmer mode also includes a bit of a handbrake. Not a really strong one, because if I made it stronger, it would make the mech fly face flat. But it's there, and it's controlled by the spacebar. As you can see, the friction on those wheels goes up a little bit to help it slow down. It does have inertial dampeners, which help it slow down, and you can reverse to help it slow down, and you can tap that brake. And it also helps you slow down. Because skimmer mode can get a little bit unwieldy sometimes, and get a little bit quick. But it does also come in really helpful for docking. Because trying to walk back into a docking position can get a little bit awkward sometimes, especially with bipeds. Whereas with the skimmer mode, you can glide yourself back into place, lock yourself down, that automatically turns everything off, so we can refuel. If you look at the bottom right of the screen, the tanks are refueling right up. We are now back to 100%. We can detach. And we can fly out of here. Away we go. So we've got flight mode. We are a little bit on the heavy side. $292 tons, but got just about enough thrusters to keep us up in the air without completely burning out our power. Is when you want to make 300 tons of steel fly nicely. Gets a little bit complicated, but yeah. There's also an emergency system built in that when all the tanks empty, it turns off the thrusters and deploys some parachutes. And then activates the stockpile light to alert us that the tanks are empty. And then it will drop down to the ground. And then we can reset it. The only issue I've come across, really, that's bugging me, that I can't think of a workaround for, is the combat mode. Well, the combat mode works fine. Deactivating it and automatically getting the mech to return to its function that I've set it to is a bit of an issue. And it annoys me because the AI blocks The AI defense block has a lovely little function right here, setup actions. As you can see there, the first slot triggers when an enemy is detected, the second slot triggers when an enemy is no longer detected. That is brilliant, because all you need to do is turn on this block and turn on its AI, and as soon as it detects something, if you leave all of this flee stuff alone and just have it not do anything at all, when it detects an enemy, you can get it to activate stuff. So you can have it trigger all your weapon AI and all that kind of stuff, so it automatically turns hostile to enemy targets. Problem is, once you activate the AI on the offensive block, it automatically turns off the AI on the defensive block, and there is no way for that AI to be switched on to detect that there's no enemy left to turn the combat mode off. So basically, when you've destroyed your target, there's nothing automatically resetting it, and offensive blocks don't have the same function. They don't have that setup actions button anywhere. And that's the problem. Because once the defense block triggers this, this turns off the defense block, and then this will just go about its business shooting whatever. And then when the target is gone, the AI on this will stop looking for targets, and it will let the patrol route AI take over again. But there is no way I can find to turn the offensive blocks AI off and the AI defensive blocks AI back on automatically. And if the offensive block just had that same setup actions function that the defensive block's got, that problem would all go away. Currently, it can be operating automatically, doing one of its little patrol routes. It can engage an enemy target automatically, it can blow it up automatically, but then there's no way to automatically get it to return back to what it was doing properly. Which is nothing I can do about. So, my workaround for that is I might need to add another signal relay. I don't just want to stick it there, I'll just have 3 in a row, I'll look dumb like that. I don't know where else to put it right now. And I'm kind of running out of space. Things. I might just stick it there. Oh, actually, I might actually move that light forward a block and have it there instead. Copy all. Do copy paste. It's the right thing. There we go. Copy paste. Right, that's the right thing. Sweet. Let's just quickly save in case we break something by mistake. Get that out of there. Where's my signal relays? Yeah, I might have that there like that, so it's not just a little line of them, more like a little cluster with that light in the middle. That looks a little bit better, just having a line. So that signal relay will be relay combat mode off. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that for now. So that relay. That there at the end. This one is only going to be a one-sided relay. These two button, those two activate and deactivate the patrol mode and the guard mode functions when you send those signals. This one, I only want it to be capable of sending a signal one way. The only thing I want it to do, stop pressing the wrong button, is to turn off combat mode when it needs to. And to make my life complicated, I have split the combat mode function into two halves. We've got combat mode guard and combat mode patrol for the two different AI modes that it's got. And then both of them are running through these two main combat mode timers. So what these do is literally just trigger the on and off buttons for patrol mode guard and patrol mode combat patrol and combat guard. And it does make sense in a long, complicated way, because otherwise I'd need to have a complex system to turn these on and off at the appropriate times, whereas this way I can have one set of triggers to perform one thing, because these are what the defensive block triggers when it detects an enemy. And then depending whether guard mode or patrol mode is active, it will just trigger the appropriate thing, or the appropriate combat mode. Because these timers only turn on when guard mode is on, or when patrol mode is on, so these can only actually activate them. These triggers can only actually have an effect if the block they're triggering is actually switched on. So it means I've got fail-safe. And it's a complicated way of having two different functions operating through the same switch. But yeah, let's do a little bit more demoing. So let's take you and put you out of the way, so you're not going to get yourself into trouble. Drop in there. You can sit over there. Right. So we can then set up. Drop on here. And you can do roll mode, so you can go wandering about. I thought I renamed that broadcast controller. Oh well. Yeah, you can see there's a signal at the side of the screen that tells you that combat mode is active. And we can paste in another one who we will stick over here. Get him down. And then this dude can be set up to follow me using guard mode. So his AI is now following me around. His legs should have kicked in, but they're being moody. Going on there. What's not activated? We try that again? This is why I'm still testing. Guard mode sign turned itself off. On, off. What are you doing? Guard mode off. Guard mode on. Yeah, there's still a few bugs in there. Don't know why that didn't trigger properly first time. Might have just been event controllers being moody, but yeah. So that dude is wandering around trying to hit GPS locations, but because he's a walking mech, he will inherently have issues because he's bobbing around. He is now just following me. So if I take this dude, they've got two different, even though they're both walking, they're performing two different functions at the moment, and they have two separate ways of responding. So if I take this dude and make, oh hang on, he's getting a little bit close for comfort because he will just follow me. I need to adjust some of his follow settings, because he should have a set of sensors active that make him stop when I get too close, and they should make him reverse. Nope. Right, well there's something else in there that I need to fix. He should be reversing when I get too close to him. Ah. What's going on there? The sensors are triggering. Oh, some of your blocks aren't turned on, aren't they? Walk forward is not turned on for some reason. And walk reverse, you've turned off as well. Yep, for some reason. Right, well that's something else I need to fix. And we'll have a look at that properly in a minute. Right, we'll turn that off. We'll turn that back on. Yeah, there's something in there that's turning the walk cycle off. Okay, right, back to what we were doing. Right, so this dude is following me. The other dude is doing his little patrol route. And then, if one of them suddenly decides that he's a bad guy, their combat modes will kick in. And he will fall over like an idiot. Because he's trying to follow me. Because his combat AI has not kicked in yet. There you go. Fool. Right, well let's... Are you going to stand back up again? Go on. Go on. Stop making a tit of me. Well, he's behaving properly. Oh, there you go. Yeah, the friction on those front wheels still hasn't turned off properly, has it? Oh. Apparently he was switched on and he's decided to get involved as well. But, yeah. Oh, did I leave you activated? Right, well... You need to turn off. What are you doing? Combat mode, control, off, please. Right, well those two are just going to spend the next 10 minutes kicking the crap out of each other. What are you doing? Why did you activate? Range. Off, please. So, yeah, those two will just spend forever going at each other until they run out of ammo. Damage isn't turned on, so they're not going to actually blow each other up, but... yeah, that's their two respective combat modes, depending on whether they are in patrol mode or combat mode. And they can quite happily fly around and shoot at each other and target each other. Sometimes they freak out a bit. Is your left arm not activated? That's another bug that I was having a problem with earlier. Something's not activating properly. Is that gun on? No, that arm hasn't activated properly. The gun's not on. But, yeah, so that's that. Still a few bugs to work out. But yeah, say enemy gets destroyed. He then will just go back to his patrol route, but he will be flying. And his weapons will still be drawn. Because I don't have an automated way to get him to stop right now. Yeah, and he'll just do stuff like that. And then he'll fly up in the air, and then he'll try and figure out what he needs to do, and he won't know what to do. So we will turn combat mode off, and that will deploy some parachutes and deactivate, and return him to the floor. But that still has some issues as well. Because light gyros could be doing something. Sensors, tilt sensors are on. Could be doing something. But yeah, there's still a few kinks to work out. What are we doing now? On, off. Strange behaviour. The walk mode sign should be off. It means you shouldn't be trying to walk. Anyway. Things that need fixing. Why are you active again? How are you over here? What are you doing? Oh. Right, okay. What's going on here? Skimmer mode is active, is it? Turn that off for a start. And your defensive AI is on for some reason. That shouldn't be. Ah. What's going on here? There's a bunch of AI blocks on, isn't there? AI movement is on, AI offensive off, patrol is on, off. Have I still got patrol mode active? Oh, I have, that's why. Patrol mode off. Ah, that'll be where that conflict came from. Because I need the patrol mode, combat mode off to not deactivate. Great. I'm not sure why he activated and tried to follow me. Okay, that's off. Guard mode is on. Guard mode can't be turned off for some reason. There we go. Guard mode is on. Guard mode is on. Alright, what was going on there? Right, there we go. All the appropriate AI is now switched off, isn't it? Off, 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 off. Yeah, right. I think that's alright again. Right. Guard mode. And off. Right there. That turn off. Walk mode. Yeah, so there's still a few little bugs in the programming to work out, but when you're trying to do this vanilla without any scripts, these kind of things happen. Oh yeah, that was an issue, wasn't it? No, we did change the name of it, but it just still comes up saying broadcast scanner. Yeah, so was combat mode guard. Those feet weren't turning off the friction properly, were they? Walk mode off. Let's throw. Where is it? Number 10. Let's try throwing this into there. Fail safe. So I'm sure I do the similar thing here. It's obviously not been catching. Yeah, friction lights on off, on off. No mode active. We'll try that. Yeah, you did start getting involved, didn't you? Wonder why that AI turned itself back on. Right. Hmm. Now, should I have the combat mode actually just turn off the patrol mode functions? The guard mode functions at the same time? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, there is more work to be done. Turn off walk mode. Turn on skimmer mode. And there are fail-safes in place so that you can't accidentally trigger walk mode, flight mode and skimmer mode at the same time. But you can very quickly switch between them. Oh, that might be what it is. Guard mode, combat, deploy. When it turns on skimmer mode, it is going to activate the handbrake controller. And every time it tries to push up, it's gonna, yeah, that'll be why. So, I can either turn off those thrusters, which is not gonna need, or I can turn off the handbrake control. I will try turning off those thrusters. That's when skimmer mode turns on, which will trigger all that stuff. So if we say hot, if I turn off those thrusters, it should theoretically be fine. So we take one of them, stick it there, get you to follow me. Interesting. Very interesting. God. 9. Off. On. Now you should follow me, and you should stop. If I get too close, you should reverse, but you're not. And then if I back out, you're not restarting. Why is that? It's because that thruster is active and shouldn't be, isn't it? Because if no, that's not on. Why is that turning off? Walk forward. You are switched on. You are supposed to trigger. There you go, there you work. If I jump in here, you stop, and I step out, and you don't turn back on. Well, that's broken, and shouldn't be doing that, so... AI sensor, forward. You are... Walk forward on, walk off. Walk off is obviously turning off, walk forward on, isn't it? Walk off. Walk forward on. Damn. That's why. Yes. Yes. That's why. In that case then, we will just have it stop them. Right. Try that again. Yeah, wrong button. Off. On. Kicks into action. Stops when it gets to me. Tries to reverse because it's too close. There you go. There you go. When he gets far enough away again, he starts following me again. Yeah, that'll be why. Because I was turning off those timers as well as just stopping. Oh, there are so many little adjustments I need to copy over to the other Armoured Core units that I'm working on. But, hey ho, this one works the best so far. So yeah, there you go. He's actually got a functioning collision detection system, sort of. Because if you try and use the AI collision detection on a walker or something that's connecting to the floor, it will freak out and get confused and try and run away from the floor. So having collision detection on a walker does not help. But having sensors set up does. If I get close enough, there you go, he will just continue to walk away from me for the rest of the time. And if I back up a little bit, he will stop. He will center himself. If I back off even more, he'll start following me again. Cool. Right, so that seems to be that bug fixed. Turn guard mode off. We'll go back to doing that. That can go away. You can get copied and pasted over there. Hopefully you don't start doing stuff. Let's just check to make sure your defensive block is definitely off. It is definitely off. Right, so you can follow me, like the faithful puppy that you are. Then we will have another one way off in the distance. Also follow me. Then we will set this one to be a bad guy. No, not that one. Set it to be bad guy, and then its AI will kick in. And your AI will kick in. And then once you've detected each other properly, because the AI, combat AI takes a second. They will detect each other properly eventually. And smash into each other because they're idiots. Ah, your walk sensor needs to turn off. You're now walking whilst gliding. I didn't think about that. But yeah, you're doing mad stuff now. Block. You've got up to 45. You should be at 50. That's not quite right. Right, you can come out. You can come out. Why did that not deactivate the AI walk sensors when that combat mode kicked in? You see, combat mode, guard. That turns on, that turns off walk mode. Walk mode sign should have absolutely have turned off those sensors. Oh no, it wasn't, because you're a dumbass. Combat guard. Yes, when guard mode turns on, all that stuff needs to happen. Yeah, I think it's because I haven't deactivated the walk mode sensors deploy. Yeah, so the walk mode sensors are still fully active. Idiots. So, AI sensors need turning off. Off and off. That way he will stop walking. And what does off do? Off turns off skim mode. It turns controllers back on, turns that back off, turns that back on, turns that back on. Yeah. I think that's alright. Oh yeah, and then it turns guard mode back on. That might be where the bug's coming from. Combat mode turns off. Deactivates all that. Do. Combat mode turning on, or guard mode turning on, should turn the AI sensors back on. Yeah, there they are. Right, so I think that might be a solution, or the solution. Also a quick question, patrol mode on, does that do the same thing? Because that starts off in a walk cycle. Oh yeah, it does. I just forgot to do it with the other one. Okay. That door's closed behind me. Cool. So, try this again. We will have one sitting there, and he can follow me. And then we will do the same thing over here. Another one following me. Right, go. You can correct yourself. Doesn't seem like your walk cycle paused then. Let me just check something. Cycle delay. You're not switched on. Why aren't you switched on? More bugs. No. Guard mode sign. Off. Walk cycle delay should be off. Guard mode sign on. Walk cycle delay is not turning on. Why is that? That is important. That stops you tipping over, doing stupid things. Why is that not turning on? I turn it on. Walk cycle delay is off. Why is the walk cycle delay off? That's really important to stop it doing that. Why is that not turning on? Walk mode on. What have I broken now? Oh, is it because I've got something turning it off and there's nothing actually turning it on anywhere? That might be the issue. Walk cycle. Because it was just permanently left on, and now I've got something turning it off. I think that's where the problem's arising. Walk mode. That turns on all of that. Walk cycle sensor. You know what? Let's bung it there. Walk cycle delay. On. It shouldn't ever really turn off. Hopefully. Right, so that should be back on. So now, if we lurch and do stupid things, end up on an angle we don't want to be at. Say that. There you go, walk cycle delay kicks in. Right, there we go. What did I do that was turning that off? So many complicated systems in here, I can't remember. At least it's working. Why did you do that? Walk mode off. Random phone number calling me. That's unknown numbers. Get stuffed. Right. So, if I turn skimmer mode on, has that been breaking it somehow? No? No, skimmer mode off. Skimmer mode on. Right, all the arm movements seem to work properly. Everything is turning and moving when it should do. Right. Skimmer mode off. That's gone up to 50%. That's all at 50%. Skimmer mode on. That's about right. Yeah, that's right. Turn that off. Oh, pressed the wrong button. Right, so we can... Oh yeah, this is why I set up the rear camera. we go. We can connect up. Everything resets. Oh yeah, I need to redo the tank controller because I moved that light, didn't I? Yeah. Tank light. What do I call it? Stockpile light, that's what I called it. Stockpile light. Do that. Right, so then the docking controller, when we dock, does all of that, turns off a bunch of stuff, and there it is. Stockpile light can turn on and off there. So when we connect, we... Right, oh, sweet. That also means the emergency control system that needs that light changing to the stockpile light. Needs replacing. That will turn on there. We are full. We can detach. Good to go. Right, so long skimmer mode back on. We can skim away. Nope, look out and then brakes. Turn that off. Turn walk mode back on. Go for a little stroll. That walk cycle controller's definitely not turned itself off again. No, it's fine. Turn walk mode off, slap flight mode on. Go for a little flyabout. Did a bit of testing the other day. These things are pretty good up to about 2 kilometers. After that, the drop off on atmospheric thrusters starts to kick in a bit. But we can get to a decent height and still function properly. We've got all the movement controls up in the air. Reverse flight. Tip ourselves back a bit and we slow down right quick. Because we got some big thrusters in the bottom of the feet, a bunch of subgrid thrusters on the legs. And we're not great at lying on our back. Kinda need to stay vertical. Not too bad at flying. I might need to adjust some of the subgrid settings so that it doesn't drop like it does. But we can fly about. We can activate the head. We can take control of the head. And because we've got most of the movement controls set up for the keyboard, pretty much use the head to look around, use the keyboard to move around if we wanted to operate it like that, or we could just leave the head active. Ooh shit, way front flip. That is why I leave damage off most of the time when I'm testing. But yeah, then we could also have just the front camera control with that button. so the head can act independently. We're just looking through its eyes. We've also got a camera tucked away in the chest. So we've got some front vision, and we've also got that rear camera looking behind us for docking and rear defensive purposes. Oh yeah, and there's also another camera on the bottom I set up because I wanted a fourth button for here, so we've also got a camera on the bottom to help us with landing positions if need be. You've got pretty much a decent set of cameras on all the sides that count. And then we've got arm control systems that have fail-safes in them so that we can't accidentally mess up some of the arm controls and some of the flight controls. We can put them away, continue flying. Might need a little bit more up thrust, or I might just have to set a bit more up thrust as the default. Yeah, land up here. Bet it's an absolutely horrendous angle. Oh, it's not too bad. Then we've got our turret controls set up as well, that also have fail-safes in them so you can't accidentally break them. They have to fully deploy before you can retract them, and they have to fully retract before you can deploy them again, because there's a bunch of things that are getting changed in there that can break them. And that's a bunch of stuff for testing purposes. Turn walk mode back on at the top of this mountain, and we can have a little bit of a stroll around up here. There's not a lot of room to look around, but ooh, that's go on. Yeah, gyro assist. That was all the mech doing that. I didn't do anything there. That's just the gyro assist system, kind of doing its thing. Turn that off. Turn skimmer mode on. Skim about on top of a mountain. Probably not a sensible idea. But if need be, we could potentially skim off the side of a mountain, deactivate skimmer mode, activate flight mode, and pow! We are flying. There you go. If you were running away from an enemy and you came to a big cliff, you could just bail off the side of it. Kick in your flight mode. And then do that cool thing where you drop off a cliff, they think that you're dead, and then you just go whoosh, fly up into the air away from them. Like Marty McFly in Back to the Future 2. And other things, but that's the first one that always comes to my mind. Yeah, so all those systems seem to be working fairly well now. Just the combat controls. Or the combat mode switching that seems to have a little bit of a problem. And flight mode back off. Right. Yeah, so you are working pretty well. Let's throw skimmer mode back on and whiz over here. And so you can get very, very quick in skimmer mode. Flying across the ground 80 meters a second probably isn't the greatest idea unless you're on nice flat savanna like this place that I found. But it's not too bad. And there is, like I said, there is a light handbrake there and reverse thruster controls to stop you going mad. And it's set up so the inertial dampeners actually work rather than having to fiddle about with that. So it's not too bad as a land skimmer, and his stride with his legs isn't that bad, so he's not too tippy side to side, he's more tippy front to back than anything. Not at all. Turn that off, turn walk mode back on. Oh, that's another thing I need to add. I like having indicators both inside and outside, so that's got walk mode on there. And that little flashing yellow light there also indicates that walk mode is active from the outside of the mech. If I turn it off, it turns off. Turn on flight mode. The one on the right starts flashing. That's that sign down there. And we can fly about. I need another light for skimmer mode. So that can turn off. I could. Ah, there you go. There's a good answer. Let's just slap that there. Copy, all, copy, paste. That can be skimmer mode light. Presto, problem solved. Skimmer mode on. EXT skim. There it is. Oh, have I got two sets of arm lights in there? That's stupid. Oh, and they're different as well. That's even stupider. Well, have I got two sets of arm controls in there? Right, well, that can come out. Just change the other one. So, skimmer control. Stick it there for now. On. Skim external. Page 10. This one's getting a bit more. Handbrake control. Oh, you know what? Stick it there. Doesn't really matter. Not massively important. So Ah, right. So, those arm controls. Skim mode on. I need to change them. Because I want each mode to have a distinct position for the arms. So when it's walk mode, the arms just move out a little bit. When it's flight mode, the arms lift right up into like a T position, like he's ready to take off. In skimmer mode, I want them to move forwards, like so. Like that. What are the hand lights like? Hand light right. Off does that, on does that. So we did that. Forward. Ah! Skim. Forward. So. Oh yeah, because we've only done the arm lights. We haven't done the hand lights as well, have we? Right. Hand lights. They are currently off, or are they on? They're on at the moment, so I would like them to turn off. Means the resting position, I want them turn back on again. Hand light. Hadden, that's not how you spell a word. Turn them back on. So, yeah, there you go. So they turn in a bit. So the guns are pointing a little bit more sensibly rather than right on their side. Yeah. No, left. Gim controls. I would also like to change the hands. Friction light, there you go. Hand light. So I would want the left hand to turn off and the right hand to turn on. So when I move left, yeah, something like that. With the right, yeah, I want that gun to lift up a bit more. Yeah, so skim right. And right. Left would be on and right would be off. Then with skim reverse, I might want to turn both of them off. And light off and off. Yeah, that's the one, that's a bit better. So then we would also need skim modes on and off positions for the hand light's already got it. Skim mode, arms, hand lights already done. Fantastic. Yeah, that's a little fail safe there. Okie doke. Turn it off. Yeah. Groovy. Turn it on. Yeah, sweet. Right, got a pretty decent skimmer mode set up now. Where the hell's my base? It was all the way over there, wasn't it? Alright, so we can turn that off. We can activate flight mode. Look at that. Then, I need to do a lot of flying around. I need to burn off that fuel. I need to check if the emergency the emergency landing system is on. It is active. It is analysing. It is detecting. Parachutes. That block is on. Good. Those blocks are on. Good. They have stuff in their inventory. Good. Thrusters off. That one is off like it should be. That one is on like it should be. Cool. Right. So I think all of those systems are set up correctly. So we just need to do a load of flying around to burn off that fuel. Because I've only stuck a minimum amount of hydrogen thrusters in there. Mostly just to control the flight mode rather than actually provide much thrust. Because it was either set up lots and lots and lots of hydrogen thrusters and a big fuel supply and a few atmo thrusters for control, or the other way around, lots of atmo thrusters that need power and batteries and things, and a little bit of hydrogen as the control supply. Because trying to set up subgrid thruster systems vanilla style without the use of things like Whip's subgrid control script are a bit fussy when you try and do it all with the same kind of thruster. You can't really get a proper active subgrid thruster control system that way. It's more reactive. To get a proper active one, you need to, from my testing, you kind of need to have a hybrid thruster system to get a full active subgrid thruster control. Because without it, all of that arm and thruster movement would just be responding to the atmo thrusters. And from playing a lot of this game, atmo thrusters and ion thrusters rely on one system, and hydrogen has its own separate system, and the inertial dampening and overrides between the two systems don't conflict or affect each other. That is why I have got hydrogen thrusters there with thrust override on, and it's not dropping out the sky like a ton of bricks. Whereas if I did that with one of my override, one of my main subgrid thrusters, you can see me now plummeting out of the sky. If I turn that back off again, you'll see me slow down, the inertial dampening kicks back in. That's why it's got a hybrid system. Because you kind of need that effect of the thrust override to be able to control it properly. Otherwise, if I turn off, for example, the flight up, if I take the override off that, there you go, all the thrusters start firing and it starts doing weird stuff as the flickering of that thruster is triggering the event controller and making it go mad. And what you end up with is a control system that ends up being jittery and stupid. So, hence the hybrid system. We pop just a little bit of that on there. Doesn't need to be much at all, not even a noticeable amount of force. And it all goes back to normal. Yeah, vanilla subgrid systems kind of need vanilla subgrid thruster systems kind of need to have a hybrid thruster setup built into them. Otherwise it gets a bit fussy, and it has to be hydrogen and something else. Because as far as the game mechanics are concerned, Atmo and ion thrusters are the same thing, at least in terms of thrust overrides and inertial dampening and things like that. The game just sees them as the same thing, because I've tried to do hybrid systems in the same way with Atmos and ions, and it doesn't quite work the same. It's basically just like having a load of Atmos on the same ship, and just some of them are crap and don't work properly. I'll do it that way instead. Oh yeah, rambling too much about subgrids. I need to burn off the last of this fuel to see if my emergency systems work properly like they're supposed to. So we'll just abuse our thrusters. Because annoyingly I took the time to do a bit of balancing and get a reasonable amount of small hydrogen tanks in here, so it's got a decent flight time, but isn't so heavy that it can't actually fly. So it's going to take me a few minutes to burn off all this fuel. And this is another reason I don't like building stuff in creative mode. I would rather do it in survival mode, creative tools turned on. Because if I was doing this in creative mode right now, that fuel gauge would mean absolutely nothing. And I wouldn't be able to test an emergency system like this properly. Because the tanks in creative mode may or may not be automatically just 100% all the time, and they never run out of fuel in creative mode, so it's really hard to test like emergency power and fuel systems in creative mode. Same with like ammo and refueling and stuff. Like, building in creative mode is good for just messing around, but if you're trying to do something that works, I don't suggest it, because if you mess up your conveyor network and there's like a block missing, you won't notice until you go and try and use that thing in a survival game and realise that there's a broken conveyor connection somewhere, and your guns don't rearm, or your fuel tanks don't reach the thrusters or something like that. So I always do it in survival with creative tools on, because you can just flick them on and off when you want, and it makes life much easier. Because I also wouldn't get a decent power reading off the batteries, because the batteries and any atmospheric thrusters would just work regardless in creative mode. It wouldn't care how much power you've got, because that is a mistake I made quite often playing this game. At the beginning, was I'd mess around in survival mode, creative mode rather, build something cool, paste it into survival game, and oh look, it takes 6 weeks to refuel, or it hasn't got enough battery power to actually fly, or it's too heavy to actually sustain itself in gravity. So yeah, building in survival with creative tools is probably the best way to go. And also, if you're building a mech, I see a lot of people building mechs in space and then complaining that they don't work when they drop them onto a planet. And I don't really get why people do that, because if you're building something that you want to work on the ground, build it on the ground. You will see how the physics of the game affect your mech as you're building it. Whereas if you build it in 0G, you won't know where all that clang is going to be and where all that mass is going to sit. The best way for building mechs, I've always found, is just set up a jig on the ground, mag plate, bunch of blocks, connect it up, and when you need to test it, just chop off an arm on the frame you've built and just drop it straight to the ground. Because you also waste a lot of time pissing about going up into space and then coming back down to test it. Like, if you're going to build a mech that works on the ground, build it in gravity. Right, we are nearly there. Let's fly up high. Let's see if this fuel system is actually going to work properly. 2%, 1%, and then as soon as it runs out, it should just kick in. There we go, it's kicked in. The parachutes have kicked in. The tanks are now on stockpile mode, begging for some fuel. And we will just float down to the ground, but at the moment it's still descending about 15 meters a second, which is quite quick. Might need to try and squeeze in another parachute or two. Yeah, and then we can just gently float to the ground. I haven't really got any room for any more screens in here. I was hoping I could get an indicator of some description. But I suppose the sound of the thrusters being off is probably a good indicator that everything's broken. Yeah, we're slowing down to about 15 meters a second. That's still pretty quick. But in an emergency landing, beggars can't be choosers. Yeah, the only script in this thing so far, and at all, is just a few scripts to do all this business on these screens, and one script to auto-reload stuff. Oh, here we go. 15 meters a second is probably still a bit quick, but not too bad. And then when we get to the floor, we can just deactivate flight mode, reactivate walk mode, and then we have to hobble home the difficult way. Because if we try and activate skimmer mode without fuel, we won't get very far, because the subgrid thruster system relies on having fuel. So we can just about move in skimmer mode to get ourselves back to a refueling station. Might try and design a dropship for these things at some point, but I've never been particularly good at designing spaceships. Designing mechs is more my thing. Spaceships I always get a bit lost. Oh yeah, and this is why we have the rear camera. You can scooch on sideways. We've actually seemed to have more left and right control when our tanks are empty than we do forward and back. go. And then we can line up to there for now. Engage our docking. And then we should automatically start refueling. Yeah, look, there it goes. Then we are back to full. And we can disconnect. Slap skimmer mode back on and glide away. Oop. Oh yeah, obviously with wheels and reducing friction and stuff, you have to give it a second or a little bit of a wiggle sometimes to get the game to recognise that the friction has actually decreased. And yeah, there we go. And we're off again. Right, so all of those modes work pretty damn well. I need to take a quick bathroom break, so I'll be back in 2 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Right, we are back again. Right, so where are we up to with all of this business? Guard mode, we've got patrol mode. We turn the head off, that resets back to where it came from, and sits back in the middle again. We've got our spotlight system for working in the dark, or any nighttime maneuvers and stuff like that. Try and worry about being stealthy in a mech, it's never going to happen, so... the weapon systems seem alright. We've got a light for skimmer mode, we've got a light for flight and walk mode, we've got those orange lights for patrol and guard mode. That's got its signals set up so it broadcasts what it's doing. Control mode button's not turning back on. Why not? Guard mode works. Guard mode off. Patrol mode. You're not turning back on. Why is that? Well, I've got fail safes. Stop things interfering with each other so you can't accidentally activate two AI systems at the same time. But there's obviously a few bugs in that system because control mode wasn't letting me turn it back on. So where are you going? You should be heading over there to your left. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going? On waypoints. Defensive block off. Defensive block on. Searching for enemies none. Guard mode isn't on. Patrol mode is. Where does your AI think it's going? It's supposed to be going over there. Interesting. Why are you being a dumbass? Patrol mode off. Right, settle down. Patrol mode on. Where does he think he's going? AI behaviour. Patrol mode. Waypoints 1 to 5, which are those markers over here. So where are you going? As... Oh, you're turning. Oh. Oh. It's not even remotely close to where you're supposed to be. Oh, 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 oh. Is the game AI just having a fit? No, he's doing a full circle. Okay. What are you looking at, mate? Oh, that was the wrong button and I've just turned it off. Idiot. Right. What is your patrol AI doing? Reset waypoint. Off. On. You're having a few issues, aren't you? Control mode off. Set yourself back to normal. Try again. Mode it off like it should be. Are you getting confused over where your waypoints are? It looks like you are getting confused over where your waypoints are. Yeah, you're flicking left to right now. What are you doing? Let's change you to follow home instead, and let's set you to follow the base beacon. Nope, going over. Going over. You gonna try and correct yourself? Nope. Right, patrol mode off then. Let's see, will the balance control system get me off the floor by itself? Definitely turning me. Flip patrol mode back on again. Nope. Go on, balance control. Go on. Go on. Go on. You're turning me round. Can you roll me over a little bit? Nah, you're just going to keep spinning me around, aren't you? Fine. Flight mode. There we go. Oop. There we go. Right. Something else is going screwy there now. Yeah, there's a warp controller still active. Yep, they're still active. They shouldn't be. Flight mode off. Walk mode on. Walk mode off. Flight mode on. Walk controllers should be off. They are not. Why are they not? Flight mode off. Yeah, that has turned all of them on. Walk off. Hang on. Doing that should turn them all off, yeah. Maybe walk mode off. Needs a failsafe for it as well. It does have its failsafe for them. Fine. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe that was me trying to switch modes too quickly or something. Okay. Turn that off. That is refueled to a reasonable level. About place them over here. Now we will try that skimmer combat mode testing again. No, it was still having a few issues. So you can follow me. Guard mode active. You good. Copy and paste one of them. You can go over here. And then you can turn hostile. Then you detect your enemy, and you'll still keep looking at me until your AI kicks in. And then eventually your AI will kick in and you'll target each other. There you go. That's one anyway. Oh, there we go. He's detected his enemy. Oh, I've turned the wrong one hostile, that's why. I'm an idiot. Oh, I just shoulder barge it. Nice. Very nice. Is that it? You're both just fallen over. What are you doing? And why have you fallen over? Is that wheel friction still causing an issue? Yes it is, because for some reason it's 100% friction. Which absolutely should not be. Why is that at 100% friction? Why they're tipping forwards then? So why is that doing that? Guard mode, combat deploy, guard mode, combat on. That turns the walk mode off, which would engage the friction controls. Which would make sense. Friction lights are there, they are supposed to be turning that shit off. And that turns on, that triggers that, when that turns off, that takes the friction off. So that should be turning off the friction. Why is it doubling it? Guard mode deploy. What's you doing? View trigger a second later. Right. That might be an issue. Guard mode deploy off. That does all the controls. That turns on some of the thrusters. I don't know why it turns them on. That might be an old thing left over from previous iteration. All controls off. Oh. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Guard mode. Combat mode 1. Yeah, so that turns them on there. Guard mode deploy. Right, that doesn't. friction lights for the front feet. We stick them there. Have them flick on and off as a fail-safe, because that usually ensures that they do what they need to. Hopefully. Try that again. So, we'll have you can sit there. You can follow me. Go. Following me. Everything seems fine. Nothing stupid happening. Then go over here. We'll set up another one. Select the right one this time. The one that is right in front of me. Make this one a naughty naughty space pirate. Your front toes are still catching. Why is it doing that? Everything else is kicked in, except for the suspension on the front of your feet is now at 65 instead. Why? Why is that? Why is that? Why are you doing that? Because when I'm in walk mode, I deactivate it and flick skimmer mode on real quick. Goes to that. Should be fine. So why is that having issues? So combat mode kicks in. It deactivates walk mode. Maybe just do that. Guard mode deploy. Just do that maybe. To make absolutely sure. I've got a feeling. I've got a feeling that the walk controllers aren't deactivating properly. So if I deactivate skimmer mode again, we'll try this for the 10 billionth time. You can go there. You can go there. Right, you are following me. Yep, everything seems to be working, sort of. Pop you there. make you a bad guy, and hopefully these wheels aren't going to keep messing around. Space pirates, right, bad guy. Looks like it's working. Go check on our mate over here. It's a bit tippy. Suspension is at 30%. Why? Why? Back to the drawing board again. There's something going on in this friction system. Oh, is it that smegging handbrake? That's what it is, isn't it? Because that increases the friction by 30%. Let's give that another bash. I think I know what that is. I think that might be the solution. Because if I have you like that, following me, another one there. Then we'll make you bad guy. Again, back in 1000th time. Right, you, bad guy. You, detect bad guy. Come on. Oh, what are you doing? Right, there you go. Right, that up thruster. Definitely trying to do stuff. I'm pretty sure I turned that off. And that handbrake control. That's the right button. Is on and is firing and is the cause of that being at 30%. Yeah, that's the problem. That is the problem. It's trying to fire that when it shouldn't be. Other than that, it's working pretty well. Right, okay. So, I thought guard mode deploy was catching that in time, but apparently not. Yeah, because it's happening within a few ticks of each other, so it's not going to happen quick enough. So it's not going to turn them off. So, what I need to do is just try and turn that handbrake control off altogether. It's that. Turn that off. Yeah, hopefully that will do it. Right, test run 4,000,003. Right, you can go there. Once again, you can follow me like a faithful lapdog. Yeah. On we go. Copy. Thank you. Then we can drop him over. Yeah. You'll follow me for a minute. We'll make you a space pirate. Again, enemy detected. That's kicked in. Oh, that's kicked in. Are our feet still dragging? Yes, they are still at 30% friction. Why? Why? Becking why? Right, off, off, off. All of you sod off. Right. There's one last thing I can think of to sort that out. Guard mode off, deploy. Right, where are they? Friction. Controls. L01 and R01 down. They can both just get turned on. And started. Guard. Combat mode, deploy. Friction. Down. On. Start. On. Start. Yeah. So again. Right. Please, for the love of God, just work this time. I kind of need you to work properly. You. Go there. Right. Go this one again. Or I go mad scream. Right, enemy target detected. Sliding round in skimmer mode. Feet are all in the right position. Feet are at 30% friction. Why? 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 Why are they at 30% friction? They absolutely should not be at 30% friction. They should be at 0% friction, because I've set up just about every damn type of control I could possibly have. So why is that feckin' thing not working? Because it's not turned it on. Obviously it's not turned it on, because I've still got light switch controls trying to deal with it. So we will try removing everything but that last thing that I set up. Right. That can stay. Oh, for God's sake, that'll be why it's not doing anything. So I put that in the wrong place. That's probably why it's not doing anything. Because that is turning the whole thing off before it gets to any of this. Okay. Well, before we do anything completely stupid, always good to copy and paste, make a copy and save, just in case we break something. So, I might have just gotten something completely messed up in this sequence. So what are they? Up thrusters. Light up. Let's turn them off there. That makes the handbrake controls. Let's turn that off, and actually deploy. Turn that off, although I don't think that's going to make a difference. It hasn't done so far. Handbrake. Turn that off. That can come out. That can come out because it's supposed to be part of friction mode, skimmer mode anyway. Down, page 10, get rid of that. Friction, down. On, play, or start, whatever. Right, I'll take you for a test spin. Right, there you go. You can go there. You can follow me once again. Right, away you go. You're following me. Faithful little robot puppy. And again, you're following me. You're both in guard mode. You are being stupid. Sort your life out. Thank you. Thank you. Right, is that the right one? 50 meters. That's the right one. Right. Space pirates. Enemies detected. Various control modes engaged. Those front wheels don't look like they're on. Still 30%. Why? Why is it doing that? Why is it not resetting properly? What is that about? Why? Trigger, I don't care what you do. Guard mode on. Trigger. And that has put everything onto 50%. when it should absolutely be all the way down to 0. Drive mode, I need to change that sign to say skimmer mode. Active. That handbrake, isn't it? White thruster. Turn that off. Then the front friction turns off. Yeah, thought so. On. Turn them on. Yeah, that goes up to the handbrake controls. You can get deleted. So I've fundamentally smegged something up here. Combat mode on. Guard mode deploy. Take all that out. Skimmer mode. Turning that on. I think would sort all of that out. Skimmer mode, friction off. So many subsystems that I forget what everything does. Reduces the friction on everything. Don't get why this is being such a pain. Friction controls. Turn that on. Right. Turn that on, turn that on. Press play. Press play. Handbrake controls should turn off. Try that. I bet it won't work, just to drive me mad. Like it has been for the last 45 minutes. Right, from the top. Guard mode. I thought I had this fixed. Didn't want to spend this entire session trying to debug something I thought I'd already debugged. Apparently, something has changed. Transfer to Space Pirates. You engage your enemy. You have engaged your enemy. Your feet are still at 30%. God damn it. This is really annoying me now. As far as I can tell, it's not even triggered, it's not turned that on. Turned. Those are still on, and absolutely shouldn't be. Yeah, I still can't get it to take that fucking handbrake controller off. That is where our bloody problems are coming from. Trigger. I'm now off. Yeah, it's something to do. I'm trying to get that goddamn handbrake. You, go away. Right, there is some problem with the skimmer mode. The way it's turning on and off the handbrake controls. See, that's supposed to turn everything off. It's definitely a handbrake control that is causing the issue. Handbrake, there you are. Oh, what can I do about that? Yeah, it's definitely issues with that handbrake. Right, I'm going to take that out of there. Take that out of there. Taking that off for a second. On, trigger, and start. On, trigger, and start. And I bet this isn't going to work either. Because what I need to do, in reality, is set up another timer. A 1 second delay on it and have it turn everything else off. That's causing the problems. Terminal, guard mode, on, copy and paste, the trillionth time. Right, you can go there, there you go. Right, you. Oh God, please behave. No, you're not going to though, are you? Space pirates. Alright. All your business is kicked in. AI should kick in, but your goddamn friction on your goddamn front wheels is still at goddamn 30%. For the love of God, it just will not launch that. Oh, yeah, the handbrake's still an issue, isn't it? That's why. that is still on, causing problems. Guard mode deploy for the billionth time. Oh. Oh, I need to turn it off there. On, start, trigger, on, oh yeah, trigger, start, that way potentially get 2 out of it. I am just going to have to set up another timer, aren't I? Because it's just messing with me. Drop that there. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm making you a bad guy, that's what I'm doing. You can be a bad guy. So not made a difference to your handbrake, has it? No, your front wheels are still at 30% and your handbrake controller is still very much active. There's just not enough time in between activating the skimmer mode and trying to turn off that feckin' controller. Do indeed need one more timer. I was hoping to avoid putting any more in here. I thought I was nearly done with this thing. Right, no space in there. Yeah. Where are you? There you go. This can be you know what, I'll just call it and brake off for now. We'll see if this works instead. What that is going to do, it's going to have a 1 second delay and it's going to turn the handbrake control off. It's going to turn that off, that off. And also set the friction on these on. Trigger. On. Trigger. When that is done, it will turn itself off. Right, so guard mode. Deploy for the billionth goddamn time. Come on. Guard deploy. You can turn yourself off again at the end of the sequence. Hopefully, if I just stick this here and brake off. I'll turn that on, start it here. What will it do? Don't get why. Yeah, what? Right. 5 million at the time. Right. Guard mode. Activate. Follow me like a faithful puppy. And then behave the way I've tried to train you. Right. You, let's get a bit more distance. You. Activate. Follow me round. Cool. Everybody's playing nice. Transfer to bad guys. You kick in. Oop, and then he's off. Then it looks like it's kicked in properly, but your AI, your legs have not reset properly. So you're halfway there. Worked for you. You worked fine. Okay. Closer result. Oh, actually. Fail safe for the legs. If we hand brake off. You know what? We'll actually just call it combat guard. Deploy 2, because it's evolved into more than just that now. Do all that, turn all that off, sort all that stuff out. And then leg lights. Leg light. On, off, off, on, off, off. So it goes into the position it's in now. Deploy to this one. Right. Turn yourself off. Copy. We got this bug tested, I think. Nearly there. Right, you. Now, walking. You are now following me. Good. You can drop in there. You can behave yourself. Yes, thank you. You can become an evil space pirate. Start shooting at him. Your legs set into the correct position. And your wheel friction is at 0. One of your guns hasn't kicked in properly. Why not? The other one has. Bump, 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 bum. Fail safe for the arms. Arm is supposed to be in that position. God, deploy 0, 2. By that point, the arms should have triggered and should be doing stuff. Deploy 0, 1. Leg lights. Combat mode got deployed. 0, 1. 0, 2. As long as I've got 3 timer blocks here now, let's split that up a bit. Oh yeah, because that activates that there. Do it, and then... No, actually. on. Get on. By the time we get to here, the arm lights should be in the position they're in now, which would be off, on, off, and on. That would be off, on, and on. And hopefully that would act as a fail-safe. Make the smagging arm go back to where it's supposed to smagging be. Try this again. Again and again. Guard mode, activate for the 7 billionth time. Follow me, robot friend. We're gonna go over here. Then we're gonna go there. You going to behave the way I want you to. There we go. Right. You, space pirate. You, space pirate. Mac. That seems to... let me in. There we go. Right. Everything is... the friction is all off. What are you doing? Why is all that stuff flickering? Oh, is it because we are only going 30 meters a second? Why are we only going 30 meters a second? AI freaking out a bit. What? Seems to be kind of working more like I was intending. The AI is, the combat AI is being a bit stupid now. It's a hell in the way there, dummy. Ooh, and off he goes, he's airborne. Yeah, right. Okay. Just gonna smash yourself to pieces on the way down. Well done, mate. Oh, at least you're still upright. Your legs are a little bit spangled from Oh. That was also something I wanted to look at. Have we got that on there? Put that back in for a second. So you'll go back to doing what you were doing. Ah. Oh, your walk controller's still active. That's what I'm thinking. Walk controllers, yeah, they're still active. That's why, because your leg has moved. Light 01 has to be off. Yeah, that's why. Why isn't that turning off quick enough? Walk mode off. You're supposed to have a failsafe for this. See, it's right there. You're supposed to have a failsafe for that. Thank you very much. Combat guard mode on. That turns walk off. That does all that. Guard mode deploy 1 then. I've got 2-second delay. That's the arm controls. Well, let's turn off the walk controls as well, just to be absolutely certain. Off. Off. Oh, hang on. Oh, no, yeah, walk controls can go off. Leg controls are a separate thing. That can go off, that can go off. Reverse controls can go off, just in case. Right, try this one more time before I call it quits, because it's been about another 3 hours. I just want these things to behave properly. I get this thing done. So I've got about 6 more of them I want to build. Every time I add a new part or change a system, it's going to get more complicated. You can go there. You can behave yourself, thank you very much. Turn that off. Give you to the space pirates. You turn hostile. Shoot at him. His AI will eventually kick in. Can only presume. Well done, guys. You've got yourself stuck to each other. One of your guns has failed to trigger again. Why? Both of his are working. Why has one of yours failed? Right, deploy. Right, deploy. Both your guns deployed, didn't they? Yeah, so the lights are on. Right, so there's still a bug in there somewhere. But they're almost... the AI is almost working as intended. There's just still a bug in there with the way the arms deploy. Once again, might change some things up. Yeah, I've not had the same problem with patrol mode. That just does it like that, doesn't it? Hang on. Patrol mode, combat install. Yeah. God. Hmm. Hmm. Left shoulder. It's over 35 degrees. That is looking at the arm rotor. Right, put that away. Yeah, hang on. Combat on, guard mode on, trigger. Seemed to work fine then. It's harder to tell when it's actually moving about in active combat, however. So, guard, deploy, 0, 2. All the arm controls, let's get rid of all that. Light. The ones we're actually looking to create failsafes for are these. Just in case that goes wrong, do that. That should act as a failsafe. Hopefully, in case the arms mess up. They're off now. Yeah. Won't make a difference. Yeah, that starts him off walking again. Ooh. This thing is going wrong in there. So what did we change there? Deploy 0-2. Take all of that out. Arm, light. LS rotor off and off. Because the arm light LS rotors are the triggers. That rotor is now sitting at 35 degrees, which is the trigger point for arm deploy 01 at 35. Oh, right. We are nearly there with this control system, I think. A lot more complicated than it needs to be. Right, you, once again, guard mode, activate, follow me, copy and paste. Paste. Right, terminal. You. What are we doing? Doing that, turning that off, giving you to the space pirates. Your AI kicks in. One of your guns is all the way up in the air and hasn't triggered properly. They always seem to work properly on the bad guys. Why are they not triggering properly on you? Well, it's definitely triggering. Controllers, are you still switched on? No, not. Is that why? On 01. Oh, yes, that'll be why. Turning off all the arm controls there. Oh, Not doing skim mode there. That turns on all of that. That turns the walk controls off as a failsafe. So maybe deploy 0 to arm controls. So that does that. That'll do that for the leg lights. That'll do that for the arm lights. Maybe I'll turn this off here instead. Off and off and there they are. Oop, wrong one. Off and off. This is what deploy 0 to. Self off as well. Right, this one last time. I'm going to pack it in because that's been nearly 3.5 hours. I'm hungry. But we're nearly there. I was hoping to have this finished today, but I didn't realise there were so many bugs left in my combat mode functions. That can turn back on. Away he goes, following me. Faithful little puppy. So just keep pressing the wrong buttons. Do. I'll not be happy until you do it successfully every single time. See, both your arms activate nicely. There you go. Oh, I think both, yes. Right, I think that might have done it that time. They might need their ranges adjusting slightly. But all their weapons are on because all the red lights on the weapons are on. Yeah, the only problem is collision detection issues. If I put collision detection on, he'll detect the floor and he'll freak out. But that looks kinda like it's working. So I'm going to test that one more time. Hopefully that has done the trick. So, terminal for the 40 billionth time in the last 3 hours. Right, that is guard mode. He is following me. Because I am the squad leader. Right, then you can go there. You will also follow me. But you've been a sleeper agent the entire time, and you're actually a bad guy. And now is the time for you to pounce and reveal yourself. All the weapons have both kicked in. No, they haven't. That one didn't work that time. But that one did on both of them. What is that bug about? There's something in there. It's making them not kick in when they're supposed to. Now, is that hand control that I can see flickering? Is that AI control or is that movement control? That's movement control, isn't it? I'm not entirely sure what's doing that. Well, we're nearly there. Working the best it's worked so far. Oop. So, one last little combat test. We are gonna check out the control mode and see if that still works. Alright. Control mode. On you go. You can go off on your little adventure. Then you can also go off on a little adventure. I might have spawned you in a bit too high. No. Right, yeah, okay. And then this guy here gets to be a bad guy. Then his AI should kick in, his flight mode should kick in, and away he goes. And the other guy should do the same thing, although it looks like one of his guns hasn't. Oh no, looks like both his arms have activated. Yeah. There we go. At least the aerial combat works better. Why does the aerial combat work so much better than the skimmer combat? What have I screwed up in there? That work too bad as like a really, really over the top enemy drone. What's he doing? Floating down to the floor. Off you go again, mate. Well, okay, so the skimmer combat mode still has a few issues. Aerial combat mode's working pretty well. Doing too bad at all, to be honest. one of those subgrids seems to be constantly pumping out smoke. No? Yeah, it's alright. A bit singy, but... yeah, right. Ooh. That'll do for a bit, I suppose, then. Those guys can fly around and blow the crap out of each other. Do in the dark for a bit more drama. Yeah, so... right, we'll come back to this next time. So... yeah, thanks for watching. And I'll be back at some point soon with some more mechanical nonsense. So, goodbye for now. Cheers, guys.